Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C Will back to you with another video. Super excited here. Why? Because as you can see, got a PS5 going. Yep, we're back to some PS5 content. And that's because the good people over at Sabrent, you see that? It's a PlayStation 5 Heatsink. Oh yeah, they made their own heatsink. And so yeah, they actually reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to review our heatsink? And I said, absolutely, I would. So just letting you know, this does not change anything about my video. They did not ask to see this video before, I put this video up. They just simply just reached out to me, and I appreciate them to see if I like it. And obviously made some content behind it. And so, yeah, we're going to check it out. And, towards the end of the video, I definitely let you know whether or not this is something that's worth your hard money, or if you should just stick with, your own heatsink and stuff that you have for the PlayStation 5. So let's find out. I love to be able to get this started, get some testing done. And so, yeah, let's get going. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Here we do everything tech, all things tech, whatever it is, we like to do it. And if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you the most because you keep everything going. So yeah, the first thing that we're going to do is definitely unbox this. Yeah, we're going to unbox this. And then what we're going to do is I'll let you know, we're going to test three things today. We're going to test the actual, if you saw my not my last video, maybe the first video that I did when installing the actual Samsung 980 Pro 2 terabyte NVMe drive in the PlayStation 5. I did that. I used the Aorus heatsink. And so if you want to check that video out, you could definitely hit the link at the top left-hand corner of the screen. But when I installed that, I had my own heatsink, and this is a situation where, okay, hey, I am going to check temperatures on that heatsink first using a multimeter, as you can see here. I am going to check the temps using that first. So we're going to check the temps with either writing to the drive, reading from the drive, and also playing games. So we're going to check out a couple of PS5 games with playing from the drive. So those three things, writing to the drive, reading from the drive, and then also during gameplay, what the temperatures are. And then I'll be able to test out. We're going to hook this up, install this, and see what the temps are. So we're going to be testing the actual temperatures today between either the Sabrent heatsink that actually completely removes the actual cover off from the heatsink department area. So this kind of just replaces everything. So this is pretty cool. We're going to take a look at this, and we're going to see which one is better. The Sony's architecture and everything that they use, or Sabrent's. So let's check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get this box open. So we got the Sabrent PS5 heatsink. This thing actually looks pretty dope. You'll see as I open up the box, it's actually, it says package contents, comes with the PS5 heatsink, screwdriver, and installation guide. So let's go ahead and get this open. Got the trusty knife on deck. As you all know, I like to keep my boxes from being torn apart. So we will neatly open this up, slide it out. Ooh, okay. So we have a screwdriver on the inside, and then we got a pamphlet. Just so you know, the actual Sabrent heatsink on Amazon is $19.99. And so yeah, I'll put a link in the description below. Once I get done with the video, see if this is actually worth it or not. So we are definitely going to check it out. But I will tell you, this thing feels pretty premium. So if you can see here, I know it's a lot of like the pictures and stuff that's online. It just shows this from the top. It doesn't show the actual from the side like this, and also the bottom. So on the bottom, we got a plastic film, but this is the actual the thermal pad here that will go over the actual drive, your drive. And I'm not going to peel this off just yet, but as you can see, so one thing that I found out is that this actual cover is a cover and heatsink all in one. And so you see the raised part that's right here. That's actually going to go, it's going to cover the top part of the heatsink along with the thermal pad. And it looks like there's enough. They designed this in a way where it definitely covers up the whole drive. And so this is going to be pretty cool. So, but air coming from the actual fan is supposed to sweep over this to pretty much take away the actual heat, from the actual plate in the drive. So it's pretty cool. We're going to get the actual PlayStation 5 open real quick. So just to show you a little bit more information in regards to the heatsink itself, as you can see here on Sabrent's website, again, it's $19.99. Also on Amazon, it's listed here as well. But if we go back here, it talks about keeping the SSD cool. It says your new memory system will be cool with this. And as you can take a look here, so this is the PlayStation 5 fan. And as you can see, it actually is supposed to have the actual air come out and over the heatsink, over the plate, and being drawn into the system and where it goes out the back of the PlayStation 5. And so this is going to be interesting. So as you can see, with the original plate that's on the PlayStation 5, the way that the heat escapes is through negative pressure. And so that air travels through the actual PlayStation 5 instead of over the top. But with this heatsink, the actual air that's coming from the fan is going to be moving the air out of the actual heatsink area over the actual top of the drive, and the air escapes that way. So it seems like it'll be a little bit more efficient when it comes to that. So we would definitely find out. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the PlayStation 5 open so you could be able to see what we're currently working with. And then we are going to test. We're going to hook up the actual multimeter that you see here. We're going to hook this up to the actual current drive that we have inside the PlayStation 5. All right. So we take the actual plate off of the PlayStation 5. And as you can see here, we got the fan and then we got the plate. So what happens is, here's the actual goal from Sabrent is to completely replace the actual PlayStation 5 plate that you see here with their own, and also provide as a heat sink to the actual NVMe drive that we have on the inside. And so basically, it will replace that. And so that's what we're going to be testing out today. Not necessarily anything else except for the temperatures on the current drive that I have inside here, which I have a heat sink already that's in here. So if we take this off, get that screw to the side. All right. And so as you can see, this is my Aorus drive. My Aorus heatsink with the Samsung 980 Pro on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to test the actual heat from here, and I'm actually going to have to take the drive out so I can put this so it's actually touching the actual die on the actual NVMe itself. And I may have to make some other concessions with this to actually make the wire a little bit longer. So this sticks on the inside, but we'll work that part out. But once we do that way, I can be able to get an accurate reading when it comes to this. And then what we'll do is we'll take the actual drive out of here and then attach it to the Sabrent, and then we'll run the test, with the temps along with that. So yeah, let's get started. So the goal is to actually have the wire touching the die. As you can see here, it is the 980 Pro. And so when I put this down on top like that, it's going to keep the actual wire touching the actual chip, and then we'll be able to get an accurate reading. All right, so we got that screwed in. As you can see, we got the drive in, we got the thermocouple attached. Let's put everything back like it's supposed to be. Screw. See what we could be able to get. All right, let's go. Okay, so now we have the PlayStation back up. As you can see, I got the multimeter right here. So I'm actually going to turn this on just so you would know the actual ambient temp in the room is about 70 degrees, 21 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go to storage, right? If we go here to M.2, as you can see, Samsung 980 Pro, 2 terabyte. What we want to do, first thing that we're going to test is actually reading from a drive. So what we're going to do to test that, we actually are going to transfer a game to the actual internal hard drive. So it's going to be reading from the M.2 and writing to the internal hard drive. Doesn't matter. Let's do returnal. So we're going to transfer. We are going to move. It's 58 gigabytes. So we're going to move this to the internal drive. So this is going to test out the temps on the read speed, just using the heatsink that I already have on here, as you saw. All right. So let's see what the actual temps get up to with reading from the drive. So right now it's at 96. So obviously when writing back to the internal SSD drive, it takes a long time. I don't know what that is about. And this is Fahrenheit. Okay. So it's 98 degrees Fahrenheit. If we want to turn this to Celsius, I tell you what, let's leave this on Celsius. We'll measure with Celsius. So right now, it's 37 degrees Celsius. Let's turn back to Fahrenheit to see what it is. So it's 39 degrees Celsius, but Fahrenheit, 103. I am very curious. And this is just with reading from the drive. All right, so 104. We'll check the temp once it cools down. Once it cools down, I was going to do 2 games, but I think I'm just going to play 1 game. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop in the Sabrent. I'm going to pop in the Sabrent, just to see what type of temperature difference we're going to get. Okay, we are back. I let this bad boy cool down. All right, so we're going back in. We're gonna go back to settings. I am actually going to go back to storage, M.2, and not that, console. And what we are going to do is we actually are going to move, if I can find, we're going to move returnal. So we're gonna let items to move. All right, so now we are going to measure actually, writing back to the M.2 drive that has the heatsink on it. So let's go. With this, this is actually a quicker process, but because it's quicker, it also does more heat, adds more heat to the situation. So it's going to be surprising to see what this gets up to. And again, we are writing to the actual M.2 drive that has the heatsink on it. So we're transferring returnal from the internal drive back to the M.2 drive. And as we could see, the temp is going back up. And we got up to 97. I'm just going to leave that where it's at. So we let the drive cool down for about maybe about 10, 15 minutes. And so when we wrote back to the M.2, we got 97. So let's take a look at playing the game. See if that temperature increases. Now, what I am noticing though is the temperature is going up. All right. And the temp is at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it seems like we're sticking at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Up 101, 104. And the heat that's coming out the back of the PlayStation is crazy. I almost forget. I need to beat this game, but I forget how amazing this game looks at 4K. Oh my gosh. Let's say a 104, 105. It's going up, 108. I am going to let this cool down. And then what I am going to do, pop it out. I'm going to put the Sabrent Heatsink on and see what temperatures I get. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, okay. So I let the drive cool down. This is the Samsung 980 Pro, one-sided drive. I let it cool down. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the spacer back right here. And first thing that you have to do first is actually, we about to bare bones it. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do is actually screw this back down just like this. And I promise you it's supposed to go like this. So it's supposed to go in just like that, just to drive itself. And the way that this works, as you can see, it has enough height for it to actually sit on top of the drive. And so, all right, we got the multimeter right here. And what we need to do is actually stick this through here. And what's going to happen, this is actually just going to sit down on top like that, and boom, that's how it's going to go. So this is going to sit right on top of the chip. And as it sits on top of the chip, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this film off. We already have the thermal pad that's right here. The thermal pad is actually going to sit on top of the drive. And so this is a heatsink and cover all in one. So what we do, get our screw. And I see what Sabrent is trying to do. They're trying to make the whole process easy, and at the same time, give the actual drive itself the best cooling potential as possible. So I see what they're doing. All right, so now we got a thermocouple in. It's sitting on top of the actual chip, as you just saw. And that's it. So when the actual fan is spinning, and air is circulating, air is going to pass over the top of this. It's going to come through the grooves, and it's going to take the heat away from here. And then it's going to go out the back of the PlayStation 5. Here's the back. So as the drive spins, it's going to pull the air through, and it's going to come out through the back. And yeah, that's pretty much the science behind that. So let's see if this actually works. You've seen the numbers. I think when we was playing Miles Morales, it was getting up to like 106, 107. So we'll start off with write into the drive first. We'll start off with reading from the drive. So we're going to write to the internal drive, and then we're going to write back to the actual M.2 drive, and then we'll test our gaming. So we'll see what the difference is. And yeah, just let me know. All right, so I got the PlayStation cut back on, and we're going to turn this back on. And right now it's at 86. So there's definitely a difference. Because I think the other time, the last cool down I did, it started off at 90. So let's just see. It's at 87. So let's just see kind of what this goes up to. So first thing that we're going to do, we are going to go down to storage again. We are going to go to the M.2 drive, and we're going to go back to same game. So we're going to go back to Returnal. We are going to select move, and we are going to move this drive. We're going to move this game back to the internal storage and see what the actual temp gets up to. So this is going to be interesting. So right now we're at 88. And again, whenever you're writing back to the internal drive, it takes a while. I don't know like what's up with that, but it does. And so, yeah, that's neither here nor there. It just takes a while. I don't know why. As fast as these drives are, I don't know if something that's just within PlayStation's architecture, whatever the case may be. But it does. It writes back to it. So I don't know. I also took the ambient temp in the room again. We was actually, when I just did it, and the actual cool down, we was at 74 degrees. Just FYI, I don't know if it makes a difference with anything, but yeah, it was like between 73 and 74 degrees in the room right now. So we're at 89. Looks like we maybe got about 30% away. We're at 90. So this is interesting. It hit 90, but then it dropped back down. Saw that? So 90, 89. It's very interesting. This is very, very interesting. Just right off of this right here alone, I can already tell this right here works. It works better. This right here works better. Now, granted, I'm only like this was the ORS, right? So this heatsink right here, this ORS heatsink has double-sided thermal pads. So it's one on the top and the bottom. Like I said, this is really, as you can see, thermal paste on the top and bottom. Even though my 980 Pro drive is getting up to 91. But even though my drive is one-sided, it still had double-sided thermal tape, which is good, by the way. You know, it helps suppress the heat. I know we still have some more testing to do, and I'm going to look to see what the temps get up to with writing actual game to the hard drive. But if my memory serves me correct, this is lower temps than what we were getting the first time when we were doing this, when we were writing the game to the hard drive. But I'm going to look to see what happens with the rest of the testing. So just keep that in mind. Looks like, what is that? Topping out at 92. And this is reading from the drive. (92 degrees Fahrenheit). So we're done. 92 degrees Fahrenheit. And so what I am going to do is I'm actually going to let this cool down like we did the first time. Let it cool down. I'm going to shut the system off, let it cool down. So I'm going to give it about 10, 15 minutes. We'll come back and then we'll write that same game back to the actual hard drive. And then I didn't do a second cool down. I went on just playing into the Western. So we're going to do the same thing. But I'm going to let this cool down, come back, and then we'll see what's cracking. All right. So I let it cool down. So right now, 89 degrees. So let's pop back into what we were doing. All right. So now we're going to test. We are going to actually go back to storage. We're going to console storage. And then we are going to move. We're going to move the game back to the M.2 drive. Now, obviously, this is a quick process, so let's see how long it takes. But at the same time, we'll be taking a look at the temp. And let's see, we're at 90 degrees. I think last time we did this, I think I got up to 97, if I'm not mistaken. And so it looks like we topping out at 90 degrees. Wow. Okay. All right. Hey, look, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here doing what I do. So we're gonna go back. So we got it back, So now let's go back to Spider-Man. We're gonna go back to the same game. Spider-Man PS5 uses the hard drive pretty good. And let's see. Go swinging around the city again. See what we get up to on the drive.
Hello?
All right, so this is where we left off at.
No one's been here in a while.
And let me turn the audio back down. All right. So this is where we left off at. No, I was looking at the backpack, and we are still at 90 degrees. Okay. I tell you what, let's try a different game. Let's try Ratchet and Clank. And I didn't do this on the last one. I'm just going to see if the longer we keep playing, does it even get above 92? Okay, I just saw it hit 93. I think we were playing in the arena. Still got to beat this game. Still haven't beat it yet. All right. So I'm looking up because I got another screen that's up here. And this game gets like super intense. And we're at 93. Oh my gosh. And we're at 93 degrees. I think we're topping out at 93, to be honest with you. I think we're top. Oh. I almost forgot how to play this game. $94. Which we're actually still below. And I didn't even play the other game this long. So which means that it would have been climbing using the other heatsink. And it was already at 97, 98. It could have been higher. I got to go back and look at when I get ready to edit this, but 95. And this is after playing. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I am keeping the Sabrent heatsink on. I think that's a go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This was enough for me. Yeah, we're at 94. I'm good. The temperatures, it said what it is itself. It looks like there's a difference in between, maybe because on the other one, man, it was climbing. Now that I think about it, even when we was playing, I think it got up to like 107. So you talking about anywhere between, let's just give it a range, anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees, which, maybe it's probably more like 10. I'm thinking that's a big difference in between temps. And yeah, I'm going to rock with the Sabrent. So yeah, if you want to check this out, you could definitely hit it down in the, you'll have links to down in the description below. No cost to you. Any of the actual Amazon links that you see down in the description just helps out the channel. We're definitely pushing for 10,000 subscribers. So definitely, if you want to see more content like this, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you receive all my notifications. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.